Okay, there's no easy way to start this. Hey guys, I'm not going to talk about my previous videos. We're past that. It happened. We all have opinions. You can discuss them on the other videos. Try not to bring them on here. Today, what we're going to talk about is after I posted those videos, I realized something. I haven't quite shared much of my past with you guys. I've told you guys a lot about what I'm doing now and all the stuff that I plan to do, but I remember earlier on I told you that eventually I would tell you some more about my past because I just wasn't quite comfortable on YouTube yet. It's a part that I definitely was not ready to share until now. So this is the real part of my coming out story. A lot of people focus on other people's reactions when you're coming out. They focus on whether people accept or reject you and how that all goes down. And I understand that it's a very big part. It's basically like the entire part that you understand is coming out because you have to tell the entire world that you're gay, and that some people don't like that, and that the rejection can be horrible and people can do crazy things and you can get bullied or harassed and all that stuff. And because I act the way I do, because I'm not as flamboyant as other members of the community, a lot of people don't think that I understand the hardships that people went through when they were coming out. But what a lot of people don't know is we all go through the same emotional changes when we're coming out. And I think I went through more emotional changes in this part of my life than I have with anything else. When I was in the seventh grade, I started noticing guys. I started thinking about them in ways that I thought I shouldn't have. And I didn't really have any interest in girls. So I thought that was wrong, of course. And I know I said that like I pushed it back and like I held it in and I didn't want to think about it, and I waited till I was in high school to actually like accept it and come out. But that's not the whole story behind it. When I was in seventh grade, I started having these thoughts, and these thoughts continued to progress. And no matter how much I repressed them and held them back, I didn't like them. I started to get depressed. I started to think that there was nothing I could do, and that if I thought this way, then bad things were going to happen to me. And not only were bad things going to happen to me, but that I would hate myself because I was thinking the way that I did. People were going to hate me. My family wasn't going to love me. And most importantly, I wasn't going to love myself because I was disgusting. Um, I was raised thinking that it was not normal or right. My family's totally accepting of it. But the fact is, at the time, I didn't know what to do. I was scared as hell. So I got depressed. I started skipping school. I remember there was one week where I spent the entire week, I'd skip school, I'd wake up in the morning and tell my mom I was sick, or tell my mom that something was wrong and that I couldn't go to school because I just felt so horrible. And she didn't know quite what was up then, and so she just kind of like, gave me my space and let me do it. And at this point is the first time in my life where I had suicidal thoughts. Um, Now you might understand why I was a little iffy on sharing this. I didn't think that I could go on feeling the way that I did. I didn't think that I could go on feeling the way about myself that I did. I didn't like myself. I didn't like the way that I thought. I didn't like the way that I felt. I didn't like having to keep myself in fear of what would happen to me. And so I thought, if I just ended it now, nothing could happen. Nothing worse could happen. It would all be over, one and done, and that would be it. And so I did that. And I remember on the Friday of that week, my mom came home from work early and she sat down and she was like, "What's wrong?" And so I just, I didn't tell her that I was gay at this point. I didn't know what to say to her because my mom had told me about some people that she knew that had had the same kind of thoughts as me. And she told me what they went through and the things that they had to deal with. And she told me that we were in a spot, we were in a rough spot. At this point, my parents had divorced. It was my mom raising three boys. She was working 2 or 3 jobs at the time. Things were tight. Things were stressful on top of my sexuality coming out in the middle of it for me. So besides that, she had some other reasons to think that I would have these thoughts. So she gave me all that reassurance that I needed. She told me things would be fine, that we were going to work through this, that we would be together as a family, that there was no way that anything bad would happen because we were a family, and we had made it through worse, and so we could make it through this. And so with my mom's reassurance, I was able to get back to school, get back with my friends, make myself happy for the next couple of years. And like as these thoughts continued to come to me, I just kind of thought, it's okay, like it'll be fine, they'll go away, like it's probably just a phase, like a lot of people say, I'll be okay. And deep down, I knew that wasn't really going to be the case, but on the surface, for then, it was enough for me. So fast forward, 8th grade, I thought those things. 9th grade, I thought those things. Sophomore year hit in high school. And that is when the rumors started my freshman year, and I just ignored them, but they got really bad my sophomore year. People started saying that I was gay because I didn't have a girlfriend, because I hung out with all these really beautiful girls and stuff. So they really thought that I was gay just because they did, and somebody said it, and they just kind of hit like wildfire. And so once again, like these thoughts started to get to me. They started to hit me deep inside, because I thought that I could like get rid of these feelings and that everything would be okay, because eventually I would just grow out of it. And so this was the time when I was kind of starting to accept myself as for who I was, just later on in my sophomore year. But when these rumors started and people started asking me, and then some people started saying that I told them, I got depressed. I started thinking these things. I started feeling bad about myself. I started thinking that these rumors were horrible, that if this is the way people were reacting about rumors, how are they going to react when I actually came out? And I really got upset, and that's when the thoughts came back again. I thought, if I killed myself now, I can avoid all this trouble. It's the easiest way out. I can do this. Like, there's no way that I shouldn't. I skipped some more school. I stayed home alone a lot. I didn't go out with my friends as much at this time. And at this point, I was messaging my friend Brianna online. She moved away after our 8th grade year in middle school, and she moved to Florida. And we kept in touch. We still keep in touch today. And I was messaging her, and I was telling her that I had these thoughts. And she was the first person that I told that I thought I was gay. I say, like, my friend Mallory is the first one that I physically came out to, but my friend Brianna is the first one that I told about me having thoughts about being gay. And she was the most supportive person. But when I told her that I was having these thoughts and that I couldn't go on, I didn't really know what to do with myself, because I didn't feel comfortable talking about this with anyone, because I was so scared, and I was scared of how people would react, and I was scared of myself. I didn't want to do anything to hurt myself, but I also didn't know that I could keep going on like this. I couldn't guarantee that I wasn't going to do anything to myself. She kept reassuring me and telling me that she loved me no matter what, and that everything was going to be okay because everybody would love me, and if not, she would always just say, screw them, because they don't even matter. And so she really got me through it. And I remember one night I called her on the phone, and we were talking, and I was crying because I was scared. I was scared that one of these days I would just snap, lose my mind, and just end it. It would just be horrible. I'm not making this up. This was a time, I know I seem like completely like non-emotional about it, but it's because I'm past that time in my life. I have made through the rough waters, and I am totally over it now. It was scary. It was horrifying. So I was talking to her on the phone that night, and she was telling me all this stuff, and she was saying how everything was going to end up being fine, because being gay was just becoming a normal thing. So if I was gay, or maybe I wasn't gay, if I chose to accept this as who I was, I would be all right. And it meant a lot coming from her. It really means a lot when you have the support of like your closest friends on the issue, especially like through the internet. I'm so grateful for the internet, because it's how I share this stuff with you guys. It's how I get to connect with people all over the world. But back then, it's how I was able to accept who I was. So we were talking on the phone, and that night she made me promise that I would never act on those thoughts, and I did. And I take promises very seriously. I've broken one promise in my entire life, And so I take promises extremely seriously. And so she didn't want me to hurt myself, and I didn't want to hurt her through hurting myself. So I promised her that I would never act on these thoughts, and if they came up again, I would just shoot her a message or give her a phone call, and we'd talk through it. And that's what I did. When I had these thoughts, or when I thought about these things, or maybe I felt like I needed to act a certain way, I'd shoot her a message, give her a phone call. And little do people know, that's where this little bugger right here on my wrist comes from. Have faith in 3 words. Have faith that where you were got you where you are, and where you are is going to get you where you're going. Past, present, and future. 3 words. Have faith in yourself. Things will get better. This tattoo was spawned on that night. That is where the idea for this came from. I knew as soon as I turned 18, I would get a reminder to myself of that promise. And yes, this tattoo means a lot more than just that promise, but I would not have it where I have it, so I see it every single day. This one on my wrist is a promise for me not to kill myself. I know that sounds like a serious claim, and some people are going to be like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. But it's the truth. It's what I went through. A lot of people like to say that I might not have gone through as much because of the way I act or the way I present myself. You're wrong. We all go through the same struggles when we're coming out. Some of us face more rejection from other people, but some of us also face more rejection from ourselves. And I think that can be more dangerous than facing external destruction and rejection. So, if you are having problems accepting yourself for who you are, I know what you're going through. I know it can be scary, and I know it can be tough. Just remember, have faith. Things will get better, and you'll learn to love yourself. If you need someone to talk to, shoot me a message. Say something in the comments maybe. You can message me on Twitter, Instagram, send me an email to my business email, send me a message here on YouTube. I don't care how you try to communicate with me, just communicate with me, because I know it's hard and sometimes you just need someone to talk to. And I want you guys to know that I'm here for every single one of you, always. So, I'm glad I got that off my chest. This is what I went through in middle school, this is what I went through in high school, and kind of the behind the scenes of my coming out story. I didn't face as much rejection as some people did from everyone else. I just faced a lot of rejection and hurt from myself. It's rough, but I made it through it, and I'm here today, and I stand taller because of it. I love myself more because of it. I respect myself more because of it. So, remember, you can make it through anything. If you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, drop them down below. It's all going to be fun, and it's all going to be okay, and everything's going to be good. So, for now, I'll just see you guys later.